Welcome back. I'm Alaina. Is working 60 hours a week too much? Today we're going to uncover the #1 lie that most gurus and moguls will tell you and why it's actually keeping you from the success that you want. Let's get into the truth now. First, I'm going to reveal to you the #1 reason why you should stop listening to those experts. Then we're going to look at the deeper root of why you're actually working yourself to death, and I mean literally to death. Then I'm going to point you to the tools that will help you free up so much of your time a week, like literally 20 to 30 hours a week. Next, we'll look at the common assumption that may be holding you back from scaling your business with ease. And by the end of this video, you will learn how to set yourself up for success working significantly less. So let's get started. Okay, now you may not be from America listening to this, and you know, I'm working with a Mexican company right now that are having the same issue. So I know it's spreading outside the borders of America, but there are certain things about Americans that glorify the hustle busyness culture, wearing busyness as a badge of honor. Now, if you listen to Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary, if you listen to Elon Musk, who says that he worked 110 hours a week to start PayPal because his competitor was working 55, so he knew he had to double it to get it out there and double the time, in half the time, I should say. Or even if you listen to Gary Vee, success coaches, right and left are telling you, if you're not successful, the reason is you're not working hard enough. And I can tell you, no, it is not true at all. There is nothing true about that, right? Here's the real truth. They are successful despite how many hours they're working, because the universe wants to give us so much more than we're giving ourselves, and the universe wants to give them more success working less hours, and yet they're hustling and working more. So really, what's better, working 110 hours a week for the same money or working 30 hours a week from the same money, right? But yet the hustle culture glorifies the idea of working harder is the only way to create success. Now, if that were true, think about how many people you know who work really hard. Wouldn't everybody be successful? Like, if that was the magic ingredient to making you successful, everybody who worked really hard would be successful, and most are not. Now, the interesting thing about it is there's 2 studies that I feel like are really relevant here to point you in the right direction of how busyness is not the answer. Working more is not the answer. Working 60 hours a week is definitely not the answer. Okay, in the first study, they showed that on the average 8-hour day, the people who were working an average 8-hour day, let's say 8 hours on a regular basis, that they were actually only productive 3.5 to 4 of those hours. That means that they were actually wasting, to me it's wasting time, which is busyness, but not productive, 4 to 4.5 hours a day. Think about what you could do with that time if you could collapse that time and be productive for 5 or 6 hours a day. If a typical 8-hour day, you're only productive 3.5 to 4 of those hours. Now, another study found that at 50 hours, you stop being really productive, and at 55 hours a week, you're actually inversely productive. So pretty much everything you do after 55 hours is not productive work. So you're spending a lot of energy, you're spending a lot of time, but you're not seeing the results for it. So working more hours does not make for better results. Now, the reason that most people do this is because they have their identities caught up in their business and their accomplishments. So they feel like if they're not going to do well, if their business isn't going to be successful, whatever that means, because it isn't their own definition of success, it's some societal definition of success. But they believe that if they're not going to be successful, then it reflects there's something wrong with them, right? That they're not worthy, they're not valuable, there's something wrong with them if they're not going to have that level of success that they're shooting for, that they started their business believing that they could have. And I would say that they may not have actually believed that they could have it, but they wanted to take a go of it. And the reason they may not have believed it is because of all the subconscious programming that we have going on that we're completely unaware of. So the average person has 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, 60 to 80,000 thoughts. And of those thoughts, 80% we say the same things over and over and over and over again to to ourselves. And of those 80 things, that 80%, 85% are negative. So that means 48 to 60,000 negative thoughts a day. Now, that's the real reason we're working too much and not having the success we want. It has nothing to do with not working hard enough. It may be because you believe you have to work hard to succeed, or you believe that money is hard to make, or you believe that you should have it already, that why don't you have it already? You should have had it already. So you have this time frame with which you think you should have had the kind of success you want. Or you can believe that you're an imposter, or not good enough, or not smart enough, or too old, or too young, or whatever the reason is, but there's a subconscious limiting belief that's going on that's creating those 48 to 60,000 thoughts a day, and those thoughts are creating your reality. Now, part of the reason, because limiting beliefs are the root cause. Most people are dealing with symptoms. They're trying to be more productive. They're trying to do productivity hacks, maybe even biohacks or other things like that. One person actually said to me, "How can I hack my body so I can work more?" It's like, no. Hack your time so you can work less. Don't hack your body so you can work more, right? It's this culture, these limiting beliefs that we have that we need to actually work more. So dealing with the root of the problem, which are the limiting beliefs that are driving you to overwork in the first place and not get the results that you want, versus the actual dealing with the symptoms of overworking, the dealing with the symptoms of trying to hack your body to work more, right? So the minute that you can actually deal with the root, you will get a different experience, because, as above, so below, right? Whatever's going on inside of us is what's going on external to us. So our external reality is a complete mirror reflection of what our inner paradigm is. And when we shift our paradigm, we're able to create something different in our businesses and ultimately in our lives as a result. So it's time to level up in your business, and you can do it without working ridiculous hours. Really, honestly, I even feel like 40 hours a week is ridiculous hours at this point. So you can do it for so many less hours. So you want to make sure that you like and subscribe the content, because I'm delivering new content all the time that will help you understand how to actually hack your time instead of hacking your body. But I'll maybe talking about things like that too. But it's not to work more, it's to work less and enjoy your life more so you can create more freedom. So make sure you like and subscribe to get notified when that new content is coming out. So in my video on how to work less than 40 hours a week, I talk about energy audits and time audits. I'm going to suggest that you watch that video right after this video so you can tune in and learn how to do that, because those are two things that when you start working with your energy, when you start working with your energy of the day rather than against your energy. Now, quantum physics says we are 0.00001% matter. The rest of us is energy. And if you want to make quantum leaps in your business, then you have to start working at an energetic level rather than just a physical material level. Material, it may work, but it'll take you a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, and a lot of time. And aren't you done with that already? So if you want to work less and actually make more and have it be easier, if you want to give up that badge of honor for busyness and create a badge of honor for a level of freedom in your life, then make sure you watch that video, because it will show you how to do the energy audits and the time audits. Now, the other thing that I'm going to say is delegate. I work with 6+ figure businesses, 6, 7, and 8 figure businesses typically. And even those businesses, when they're coming up to a hire, if they don't feel like they have the income enough to cover that person's position, they usually want to wait till they have that income. If there's a need in your business, then hire before you're ready. If you're clearing limiting beliefs simultaneously as you're doing the hire, and this may even work if you're not, if you're really believing that this is going to work, because I see it happen every single time with my clients. When they hire before they're ready, then all of a sudden the income shows up. It doubles, not only to pay that person, but more income flowing in their business, more revenue flowing in their business. So hire before you're ready. And if you're just starting out, even if it's just doing a VA, maybe from the Philippines, for $6 an hour, 5 hours a week, think about just freeing up 5 hours a week. That's 20 hours a month. How much more you could be working on your business and doing the other income producing activities if you can delegate some. So my tip here is hire before you're ready. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is building your time and your schedule around your big rocks first, right? The things that are really important to you. Because it's the things that are really important to us, like our life things, spending time with family, doing things we love, that get pushed aside for our work. But when we actually schedule them in our time and then build our business around it, we find we're having more fun in life. We're getting to do more things with people we love. We're getting to do more things that we love. It makes it so much easier to work in your business because when we get time away from our business, we're able to collapse the time in our business. Now, it sounds counterproductive. Okay, if I'm taking time away from my business, how am I being more productive in my business, right? But it's actually not counterintuitive because it's filling your tank up. It's allowing you to run on a full tank of gas that actually expands time for you because now you're having fun in your life. Most of my clients, when they come to me, they're pretty darn exhausted, right? They're burned out, they're overwhelmed. And how is it that they're having fun in their life? They may have once appreciated what they're doing. Now it just feels like work, right? It's just heavy lifting. It doesn't feel fun anymore. And when you go and you take that time in your life and you build in those big rocks first, it allows you to have fun in your life. And the more fun you have in your life, the more fun you can actually have in your business. The more fun you have in your business, the less time you'll actually be working because you're out of your sympathetic nervous system. You're out of that fight, flight, or freeze. So you collapse time. Everything that was taking you a much longer time will actually take you less time because of it. So let me tell you about my client Jan. So when Jan first started working with me, it's so funny because she would literally wake up at 3 a.m. She would start working so that she could be with her son for an hour and a half, getting him ready for work. She was a single mom. She had him 100% of the time. She would then work till he got home from school. She'd pick him up from school, and then she would work a couple of hours before she went to sleep. She was so burned out. She was having massive adrenal fatigue, massive overload of cortisol in her body. And through doing this work, through being able to tap into her superconscious mind and use her superconscious mind to clear the limiting beliefs that were causing her to have such unrealistic expectations of herself, that were causing her to feel like she wasn't deserving of more success unless she jumped through hoops, that were causing all of these things in her business. And then by following the guidance of her superconscious mind, she literally started working 6-hour days, and she had no idea what to do with her time then. She wasn't accustomed to having any time. And when I asked her, well, what did you do before? She was like, there was no before. I've been doing this for 25 years. Before I had my own business, I was doing this in someone else's business. That is the corporate culture. The corporate culture is work all the time. And what employers don't realize is you're actually getting less from your employees by forcing them to work more, not more from them. Helping them have a life actually gives them more productivity during their day. And so she had all of this time, and I helped her create a life anew that she never had before, to understand what was in her highest good to be doing. How was she meant to be spending her time? And she started to actually have fun in her life. She was so rigid beforehand about everything having to be just so and just perfect. And she relaxed with that, and she was able to go with the flow. And the more flow she was able to go with, the more clients, and the highest net worth clients she ever had were attracted to her, and the more people started referring her business. She started to walk into rooms and give talks, and people were referring her business right and left because her energy had totally shifted. She wasn't heavy anymore. She wasn't negative anymore. She wasn't stodgy even. She was a pleasure to be around, and it impacted every area of her life. And it's possible for you too. I show my clients how to do that all the time. So stick around for the next video, because in this video on how to make less and earn more, I show you exactly how to do that. Thanks, I'm Alaina, and I'll see you on the next video.